Oftentimes, parents simply desiring success for their children, however undeserving or unqualified, look beyond reason in their effort to create that success. In these cases, the parent must, as unfortunate as it is, be denied. In 1782, a woman solicited a man, Samuel Johnson, to obtain the Archbishop of Canterbury's patronage to have her son sent to the university, but was ultimately denied. Samuel Johnson carefully crafted this denial, delicately noting the unfortunate disappointment that would inevitably be brought forth, then proceeding with a logical discussion of the lack of sensibility of the original request, before finalizing the letter with a proposal of alternate courses of action, as well as appeasement regarding the virtue of the son. In an effort to alleviate distress for the mother, Johnson carefully indulges her with an emotional discussion of hope and its unfortunate end, as is disappointment. He opens immediately, noting an unwillingness to destroy any hope that she had formed, fostering the idea that he denied her purely out of necessity. Johnson goes on to discuss hope as a species of happiness that, if improperly indulged, must end in disappointment. He continues, stating that improper indulgence of hope occurs when expectation is dictated not by reason, but by desire. This effectively sidesteps the need to outright tell her that her request was absurd, instead indirectly alluding that her hope for the patronage of her son was a hope that was improperly indulged, leading herself to a conclusion that her expectation must have been dictated by desire rather than reason. The first paragraph addresses the negative emotions that were inevitably to be evoked by the denial, and urged the woman to begin to independently realize the problems inherent in this request. After the opening discourse on emotions, Samuel Johnson turned to a logical discussion regarding the sensibility, or rather lack of it, in her request. Asking her to consider the proposition, he simply outlines the absurdity of it in stating that he was asked to solicit a great man to whom he had never spoke, for a young person whom he had never seen, upon a supposition he had no means of knowing to be true. This discourse further builds upon his statement of hope needing to be dictated by reason, by exposing her rather obvious lack of it. Closing this logical analysis of her request, he concludes that because this proposal is so very remote from usual methods that he cannot comply with it, effectively ending her irrational hope for the fulfillment of the request once and for all. After the actual denial, Johnson suggests other courses of action to take while simultaneously appeasing the mother by complimenting her son, knowing that it was necessary to do so, as she would be understandably hurt and distraught after the denial. He extends an offer to help her in this exigence by any proper means, even stating it would give him pleasure to do so. This offer allows the mother to again see Johnson as someone who painstakingly denied her out of necessity, yet still caring enough to want to assist them in other courses of action. He goes on to describe her son as a pretty youth that may still have a possibility to find someone to procure him. Finally, addressing her ultimate desire for the son's happiness, comforts her in saying he may still be wise, useful, and happy. This closing worked to alleviate the distress caused by the denial while attempting to heal any emotional wounds he had inflicted on her. By opening and concluding his letter with tender and emotional discourses on hope and disappointment and further potential of the woman's son, Johnson was able to soften the blow of his, although delicate, inevitably painful logical discussion about the absurdity of the request and final denial of it. Johnson was able to perceive the further effects of his denial and reassure the mother in regarding the son, while simultaneously going forth with the necessary denial, addressing the emotions of the mother while staying rational regarding the situation.